Hello, so for my second question, I was given a parallel pipe, which was formed by a vector A, B, and C, as well as the coordinates of vectors A, B, and C. And then for the first question, I was asked to determine the angle between vector A and B to the nearest degree. So to find the angle between A and B, I knew that we needed to derive an equation from this equation, which is the magnitude of the cross product of A and B is equal to the magnitude of A times B sine theta. So I rearranged this equation for theta, as that's what we're looking for. So theta is now equal to the sine inverse of the magnitude of the cross product of A and B divided by the magnitude of A times the magnitude of B. So from there on, the only thing we need to do was basically find all three of these unknowns, which is the magnitude of A, the magnitude of B, and then the magnitude of the cross product of A and B. So to find the magnitude of A is very simple. We use this equation, this formula, where we basically take each of the coordinates of vector A, and then we square them and add them to each other, and then we find the square root of that sum. So in this case, the magnitude of A is square root of 29, and then we did the same thing for the magnitude of vector B, which in this case is the square root of 21. So as we can see here, we took both of these values and then we subbed them back into this equation that we first found, so that we derived. So right now we have the denominator as being the square root of 29 and the square root of 21 from being for the magnitudes of A and B. Now to find the magnitude of the cross products of A and B, we basically use this little cheat code where we take the coordinates of the vector A and we write it twice, so 520 and 520, and then we take the coordinates of vector B and then we write it 3 times as well, as we can see here, negative 214 and then negative 214 again. From there on then, we use this formula, which is essentially just multiplication and subtraction to find the magnitude of the cross product of A and B. So in this case, after we found the coordinate of each section of the cross product, we then input all these coordinates back into the same formula we used in the beginning, where we basically find where we power 2 each of the coordinates, and then we find the square root of the whole sum. So and then in this case it's the square root of 545. So now we found all 3 unknown values, and it's quite simple. All we do is just plug them back into this equation to find theta. So we basically solve and we find out that theta is 71.08 degrees approximately. So we just approximate that to 71 degrees as the question wanted us to round it up. Then for the second part of the question, so that's it for the first question. The nearest degree between vector A and B is 71 degrees. So for the second question, we were asked to find the volume of the parallel pipe. So to find the volume of it, there are basically 2 steps we need to take. And first is we need to find the cross products of vector B and vector C. And then after that, we use the dot product with the magnitude of the cross product that we found. So to begin with, to find the cross product of B and C, we use the same, basically like a little cheat thing we used over here, where we basically put the the coordinates of B 3 times on the twice on the top here, negative 2, 1, and 4 twice, and then we use the 3 coordinates of vector C twice, so 4, 1, 1, and then 4, 1, 1. Then using multiplication and subtraction, we use this equation. We've now derived the 3 coordinates, over the final coordinates of the cross product of B and C. And after that, after we found the cross products of B and C, is very simple. We use the dot product with the cross product of A. So the cross product of B and C, we use the dot product with the vector A. So then from there on, essentially this switches to become a magnitude, and then after we find it no longer is a magnitude and it is just a vector. And we found, after we use this equation, we find that the volume of the parallel pipe is 21 units cubed, because anything that's volume is cubed. And that's it for the second question.